Fatima, hello.
Oh, hello, Rupert. Thank you for this beautiful retreat. In the meditation this morning, there are 2 points that got my attention, or I would say resonated with me. One of it, as you said, everyone is a Sufi. And myself, I've always considered everyone is a Muslim because Sufi came from the Quranic tradition or Islamic tradition. Of course, like later on, the Quran was covered by man-made religion. That's different than the truth. So to me, Muslim was always someone who submits to this higher law or higher consciousness, or we are consciousness. And the other point that I just wanted to know your point of view about those two. The other point was the translation of La ilaha illallah. So they always translate it as no God.
Can I respond to your first question? Because it sounds like your second question is not really. Let me respond to your first question. When I said everyone is a Sufi, I was interpreting the word Sufi in the widest possible sense. Of course, I understand on one level it's legitimate to say that the Sufi tradition came from the Quranic tradition, and therefore everyone who is a Sufi is really a Muslim, which obviously conflicts with what I said. That is true. What you've said is true on one level, but the deeper meaning of what it means to be a Sufi. A Sufi is either one who lives in a state of longing or one who lives in a state of love. Well, that's everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody either lives in a state of seeking or a state of happiness. Those are the only 2 options as a human being. Now, if we define a Sufi as someone who lives either longing for God or in love with God, then everybody is a Sufi, and a Muslim is just a particular kind of Sufi. A Christian mystic is a particular kind of, a Zen Buddhist is a particular kind of Sufi. So I was, and in this understanding, the Sufi tradition didn't come from the Quran. The Quran came from the Sufi tradition. In other words, the Sufi tradition preceded the Quran, but I don't even mean preceded in time. I mean preceded in the vertical dimension of being.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah,
so we were talking at 2 different. Your definition and my definition are both valid. They're not contradictory. They're just 2 different levels.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I was just trying to point like how I always felt what you said is so true, and that's how I always felt. But then, like again, historically, man-made change to things.
Exactly. They're 2 different levels of understanding.